me, Steph, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to the Pop Culture Justice Live Tuesday edition, the 2nd of January 2024. Happy New Year to you all. Hope you've had a wonderful celebration. And I am here with my big brother from another mother, all the way from California. Lewis from Nerd Report is in the house. How you doing, honey?
Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks, Steph, for having me here as a co-host. It's an honor once again, and entire popcorn family community watching right now. Thank you so much. I can't wait for this year. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so amazing, guys, but maybe not for a few people in the next couple of hours, couple of days. Who knows really at this point, to be fair, because... yeah, guys, the long-awaited Jeffrey Epstein list is about to come out in the next couple of hours, reportedly. If it comes out during this live stream, we obviously will let you know. But, guys, we're going to go through the Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, even the Miley Cyrus connection to the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga. How are they all connected? So here we go then. A long list of people associated with Jeffrey Epstein is expected to be made public in the coming days. Now, the disclosures may throw new light on the network that he had. We'll find out, most likely, the people we already know about. My kind of thing is the people we don't know about. That's what I'm kind of like more interested in, right? Mm-hmm. And so he did mix with obviously high-profile figures from the worlds of politics, business, and royalty. And the main one that's coming out of all of this that I'm seeing time and time again is that Bill Clinton is going to be unmasked as Doe 36. And apparently he's identified more than 50 times in the Jeffrey Epstein document dump. And so, yeah, nearly 200 names, including what we're expecting, Bill Clinton, linked to Jeffrey Epstein, and we'll call him Jeffrey now from now on, is expected to be made public. Now, before we continue any further, Gene Woodhouse, thank you so much for the $5 sugar bucks, saying, think we have a couple of sugars in the chat, not liking Lewis's pleas for help. Sugars. Thanks anyway for watching and for your interaction, because your hate is helping us. Morons.
Who is this person?
Anywho, moving swiftly on. So, the background to all of this, for those that don't know, because there is a bit of background that we do need to go through. So, it's Judge Preska that's ordered the list of 187 JDOs to be unsealed in full. Now, some of these JDOs appear twice and others are minors, so it's not yet known what the final tally of the names are actually going to be. Now, this is the thing. The judge detailed the reasoning behind the publication of the names, noting that many had already been mentioned in the media. For others, the substance in question was not salacious and should not be kept sealed. The ruling said, some JDOs are minors and possibly victims, and Preska ruled that those names and any identifying information will remain sealed. So, guys, let's be very clear on this, because when I'm going through social media, it's as if these names are all like, they're going to be released, are all like perpetrators, that they're evil, this, that, and the other. No. Some of these names are associates with Jeffrey that could have been perpetrators, that could have been just as evil, whatever, right? But some of these names on these lists are actually survivors, are actually victims. So bear that in mind, okay? Now, most of the prominent names that appear in the document are already associated in some way with Jeffrey, for allegations of wrongdoing, for having worked for Jeffrey, flown on his planes, or visited his homes. Some were mentioned during, we'll call her MaxiPad, criminal trial back in 2021. In some instances, the only appearance of the names are in potential witness lists or in proposed terms for searches of electronic records. Now, where has this list come from, guys? Okay, because that's important also to know. So the documents were all part of a 2015 civil lawsuit lodged by, we'll call her VG, who says she was one of Jeffy's principal survivors of one of the most nastiest things you could ever be a survivor of, guys, okay? Now, she sued MaxiPad for defamation after a spokesperson issued a statement describing her allegations as obvious lies. At the time, MaxiPad tried to have the case thrown out, but District Court Judge Robert Sweet rejected a motion to dismiss it. He ruled that VG was a survivor between 1999 and 2002. So this list hasn't just come out of nowhere, okay? It's come from this 2015 civil lawsuit lodged by VG against MaxiPad for a defamation lawsuit, essentially. Now, one of the names that we're expecting to be on this list that's been bandied about all of media is Bill Clinton. Apparently, he's mentioned more than 50 times across the redacted documents related to that 2015 lawsuit. Many of the references to Clinton are believed to stem from VG's attempts to compel him to testify against MaxiPad. Now, other Clinton mentions are expected to be related to attempts from both MaxiPad and VG to make Jeffy come clean in 2016 after he repeatedly invoked his Fifth Amendment rights during a deposition in that lawsuit. But let's be very clear on this. The documents are not expected to implicate Bill Clinton or anyone else on that list in any illegal activity. It's either that they're associated with Jeffy or that they are survivors of Jeffy. Again, anyone on that list is not expected to implicate anyone of any wrongdoing or any illegal activity. Now, this is the order that I found from @Dom_Lucre on Twitter, guys. Yes, I did my research. I went in on this, guys. So this is the 15 Civ.7433 order. And this is in relation, if we just go down here, to JDO036. Who is JDO036? That's Bill Clinton, guys, or is believed to be Bill Clinton. This is the order for Bill Clinton's name, allegedly, to be unsealed in full. So it says this material should be unsealed in full. First, this individual did not raise any objection to unsealing and thus did not meet his or her burden of identifying interests that outweigh the presumption of access with specificity. And so, second, this individual's association with Epstein and Maxwell has been widely reported in the media already, and his or name came up at MaxiPad's public criminal trial. So, two reasons why the judge is releasing Bill Clinton's name. We're suspecting this is happening, right? For JDO036, is that A, allegedly, this is Bill Clinton. He didn't raise any objections for the unsealing. And then B, well, you know, milk has already spilt because his name is largely associated now with Jeffy anyway, and that's been reported everywhere in the media. So before we continue a little bit further into my research and what I've dug up today, Lewis, thoughts from what we've gone through so far, your reactions, what are you thinking to all this so far, mate?
Biggest reaction is props to you for all the great research. So put those likes up. That wasn't easy to get. I can tell you that. Well, look, Bill Clinton, man, I think it makes his wife look like bad because she's a champion. She has an image of being, pro feminine and women and stuff like that. I'm not, I think her reputation gets a little tainted too. Bill Clinton, we knew he was going to be on the list. And again, like you said, and I was going to add to that, doesn't mean he did anything, right? That doesn't mean he did anything. It's just, 56 times on the log. That's a lot of times, man. And also, you got to remember I believe there's a difference between being on the flight log and actually visiting the island. The island was a completely more macabre, terrible place. That's been proven. I don't know if there were any incidents reported on the actual plane. So using a plane to get from one place to another is one thing, and then being on the island as a visitor for a few days, that's a thing. I do have one thing I do want to say that's disgusting of a lot of people, and I haven't heard this take, but I'm going to give you the take that probably you haven't heard. Instead of worrying about the victims here, I see a lot of people disappointed or wishing that their least favorite politician was part of the list. Let's think of the victims. I don't give a crap what you vote for. Oh, you're like, oh, such and such, Bill Clinton, I don't like him. He's on the list. Yay. No, it's bad. There's victims here, folks. I prefer the list did not exist. It almost seems like people are rooting for reputations of people they hate to get ruined by being on the list. I say, F the list. Why did it happen in the first place? It's disgusting. It's evil. Poor victims. Let's think about them before people are like all over the internet trying to say, but this guy and this guy and this guy. That's, you know what I mean? I hope I articulated that all right.
Pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, let's crack on a little bit more, because guys, there's more. There's more that I've dug up. So here we go. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's a congresswoman, all right? So, oh my goodness, is going in on Bill Clinton, saying for some of us, it's no surprise at all that Bill Clinton will be named in the Hefe files. Like, I know, right? Obvious city, right? Captain Obvious. We said it a long time ago, but they labelled us conspiracy theorists. There will be lots of names you've never heard of, and the IC collected info on them. We're just going to say monsters from hell belong in jail, not on secret government lists. Abso-freaking-lutely. They belong in jail. They belong to be burned in hell forever and ever and ever. Amen. And for those that don't know, and I've always been open about this, honest about this, and I've said this quite a few times now online, and I'm not ashamed of it anymore. I am a survivor of SV and SA and more than that, a child survivor. It all happened when I was underage. It all happened when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. So this story, this situation with Hefe and these associates, whether they have or haven't, again, no implication. But for me personally, yeah, I care a shiz ton about this whole situation because it hits me more than compared to those that, thank goodness, I was going to swear then, thank goodness you've not been through. Because I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, any of that. I really, really wouldn't. So yeah, best believe I am heavily invested in this whole situation with Hefe. Oh, yeah, I am. No, this is why I've done so much research on it for today's stream, guys. So, let's continue. So, we talked about Bill Clinton, Democrat. Let's go on the other side of the aisle, guys, because we like to be balanced over here on Popcorn Planet. Let's have a look at the Republicans. And the biggest Republican of all, the most famous one, let's say in a kind of about way, Donald Trump. But this is the thing, right? And I'm a little bit confused here. Was he for Hefe or against Hefe? There are conflicting reports about Trump's relationship with Hefe, okay? So we have this Vanity Fair article quoting, he's a lot of fun to be with inside Hefe and Trump's epic bromance. Beginning in the late 80s, the infamous evil monster and the future president, with MaxiPad, palled around for almost 2 decades. In an excerpt from his new book, American Compromat, the author exposes their shared taste for private planes, shady money, and foreign-born models, many of them on the younger side. However, in more recent years, Trump has spoken out against Hefe and has actually turned around and implicated Bill Clinton, opinion conspiracy theory, whatever, right, with Hefe. And so you see an article like this, you hear about what Trump is saying in more recent times about this whole situation, and then you see an article like this, where Trump has banned Hefe from Mar-a-Lago after he tried to hit on a member's daughter. Not actually like physically like hit, we're talking about intimately trying to hit on a member's daughter. And so the key points from this article was that Trump banned Hefe from his exclusive Mar-a-Lago club for hitting on the teenage daughter of another member, according to a new book entitled The Grifters Club. But to make things even more complicated, right, Trump has repeatedly offered well wishes to Maxwell, who at the time of this article, which was back in 2020, was charged with enabling Hefe's monstrous ways of girls that were not of the legal age limit. So before we continue any further and we then get on to Prince Andrew.
Oh
Yeah.
Folks, stay for the Prince Andrew because Steph is an expert here. Okay, this stream is going to get more epic in the next 10 minutes. Get your popcorn on Popcorn Planet. Trust me. This is going to be insane.
What do you think to the Trump Hefe connection? What are your thoughts? What are your reactions to that, Lewis?
There's no reports that he's on the list that I could see. Maybe he's on, maybe he's not. And out of the entire group, he's the only one I've seen disavow. That is all. Because if I say any more, people are going to assume stuff. Again, it goes back to what I said 5 minutes ago. Your least liked politician may not be on the list. Doesn't mean they're innocent. Doesn't mean they're angels. They're not on the list. Let's not force people. Look, this entire situation is terrible as it is. Let's not add things to it. Let's work on facts. Let's wait till the list is out. Bill Clinton's on it. Maybe he didn't do anything. Maybe we could take something to trial. But it looks like, yes, Trump has disavowed. That's on video. Sure, you have pictures of Trump with him all over the place. I have a picture with Ezra Miller. So, take it for what it is. I have pictures of people I didn't know that were doing bad stuff. Has anybody taken a picture with somebody? You don't know what they do. You don't know. You take a picture with somebody. Doesn't mean you agree with everything they do in the future. I'm trying to think of it reasonably.
Fair enough.
Okay, there you go.
Fair enough. Reasonable enough. Fair enough. Okay, so yeah, let's get on to Prince Andrew. Okay, so yeah, it looks like he's gonna have to brace himself as well and tighten up his sphincter, however you want to call it, because it looks like he is going to be named in this particular list as well. So he's bracing himself for fresh controversy. Now, this is a situation that I'm now asking myself. Could he get into trouble with the police if he is named on this particular list? Will he finally be interviewed by the Metropolitan Police? Now, for all you Americans out there, the Metropolitan Police is basically the London police force, guys. If so, if he is going to be interviewed by the police, there is a process that the police have to follow because, for better or for worse, Prince Andrew is part of the British royal family. And so what would have to happen is Scotland Yard would have to consult King Charles. So they'd have to go up to King Charles and discuss the situation and explain to him why they want to interview Prince Andrew. Now, a discreet liaison arrangement between Buckingham Palace and Scotland Yard was established by the late Queen Elizabeth II, where a designated official at the palace is assigned to work with a senior police officer to deal with all royal-stroke police matters. Now, let's be very clear on this. The FBI at the time when Prince Andrew was going through this whole lawsuit situation with VG, right? He wasn't interviewed when the Yard received a request from the FBI. Now, he's always denied the allegations, so let's be absolutely clear on that. However, if he is named on this list that we are waiting even to this second of being released, right? The question then is, well, if he's named on the list, that implicates him further, not for any wrongdoing or legal activity, this, that, and the other, but it doesn't look good, right, guys? Especially with, you know, his rumoured associated past with Hefe, this, that, and the other, and his whole situation with VG. So could that be the catalyst for the police to turn around to the king and say, right, we need to interview him now? Interesting, right? Interesting development if that's going to be the case. Now, another interesting development is how many of these billionaires and powerful people are going to be potentially named in this list. Now, before we get on to the next one, Lewis, as ever, we've just gone through a little bit with the Prince Andrew situation. Now, bear in mind, guys, I did a video on my channel, Steph the Alter Nerd, a little while back last year. And do I believe that Prince Andrew is scummy? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I believe he's scummy. I mean, dude was friends with Hefe. Come on. Do I believe VG and her allegations against Prince Andrew? Guys, no, I don't. I actually don't. And I did a video and I did some research and I show you the receipts that I found as to why her whole story against Prince Andrew is totally in question. So do check that out and keep an open mind. However, Lewis, we've just gone through the potential Prince Andrew connection and how it's now being reported that he's also going to be named on this particular list. What are your thoughts and your reactions to this one?
Well, first, I want to remind everyone the list is not out yet. And Kim's done a great job letting people know that. But that's, so we'll say it. It's not out yet. UK law is different than the United States. So I have a question for you, actually, because the victim was allegedly 17. But what is the age of consent in England? Is it different? And then what is that? Does that have a play in it? I know there's probably something about being held against your will on the island, correct? So is that something, would it be for the underage stuff? Or would it be for someone against their will? Speaking code, because YouTube's funny.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? That's something I was curious about.
Yeah, so in the UK, the legal age of consent is actually 16 years old. So we are a couple of years more below than America over here. Now,
if the victim was 17.
Yes. So in terms of if, and this is a big if, right? If it happened over here and we are to take VG's allegations as correct, then in the UK, she is classed as an adult. At 17 years old, she's classed as not as an adult, because really an adult is 18 for like smoking and drinking and stuff like that.
And then the States, just so you know, it's 18, and then for smoking and drinking and stuff like that is 21.
Right, yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. So how do I put this? So if we are to believe VG's allegations as correct against Prince Andrew and it happened in the UK, Prince Andrew can't be done for underage because in the UK, legal age of consent is 16.
Mm.
So he can't be done for that. What he potentially could be done for is some kind of like participation, conspirator, co-conspirator in trafficking, that kind of thing. Intimate violence, doing it against her will. The R word, again, YouTube human review. We've got to be very careful with this particular story, guys, as you can appreciate. So, again, if we're to take her allegations as true, there are still things that Prince Andrew could be done for. However, again, I must implore you, go on my channel. I did a video last year. Her story does not add up, guys. And actually, I found an interview from, I want to say 2011, 2012, something like that. It was a Daily Mail interview. It was the first time she spoke out, not under anonymity. So she spoke out for the first time with her name, her face, everything, right? She spoke about Prince Andrew. Not once did she turn around and say that he did anything untoward to her. If anything, she was at pains to say that nothing actually happened. It wasn't until 4 or 5 years down the line that she then turns around and says he did something. Story's not being consistent, guys, since day one. Now, from what I've just mentioned, Lewis, do you have any other comments to make about the whole Prince Andrew connection?
As a matter of fact, it's part of rich UK culture, the Prince and everything. We don't, at least I don't follow it. Americans follow it, but I'm like the least person that follows it. So that's why I'm asking you the questions. But you just brought, as you were speaking, I thought of this. You do have to respect the law of the lands that you visit, correct? So if the age of consent is 18, where the Prince was, then he would have to respect that law. And he's breaking law of that nation, right? Does the island fall into American jurisdiction? That's a question,
You mean the Hefe Island?
Correct. What is the age of consent there? Because if the age of consent there is 18, that may cancel the UK's law. You catch my drift? So it wouldn't be underage R-ing, but it would be held against the will, because obviously seems like the victims were there unwillingly. So there's still things. And again, I don't know if he did anything. He's on the list. And the one thing I do want to say before I forget, I'm afraid that list has 150 people, but we may only recognize 2. And they're the ones we're talking about right now. And the reason being is that I've told people this several times. There's the famous, there's the entrepreneurs, mid-level. These are millionaires. There's a thing called the billionaires, Illuminatis, that are controlling those people that we've never heard of before, that we don't know. They're the person in the background controlling everything, right? Not because it's a conspiracy, because they have the money way beyond a Clinton, way beyond a Trump, way beyond that, okay? That have influence that we've never heard before. So I'm gonna say right now that the list has these 2 very famous people. Miley Cyrus, I don't know what that is. You're gonna get to that in a little bit. Is something in there? I don't know. But those are the 2 names, and the rest of it is gonna be like, who? What? Huh? Trust me, that's the way it's going to go.
Well, we'll find out soon enough, guys. Bernice Conkling knows. Thank you so much for your continued support for the membership over on Popcorn Planet, saying Happy New Year, Stephen Lewis. Hope it's a good one. Well, Happy New Year to you too, Bernice. Really, really appreciate your support there. But yeah, before we get on to the Miley Cyrus of it all, and how she somehow is connected to the whole Hefe situation, okay? Let's go on to Bill Gates.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, Bill Gates is included in this whole mess. And so he's admitted that he held fundraising meetings with Hefe and has gone on to say that was, quote, a huge mistake. I wonder if he would be saying that if he wasn't found out to have held such meetings with Jefe, if he would have still thought it was a huge mistake at that point, because this was all, as far as I know, in the timeline, after Jefe got done for the underage
accusations.
Underage paying of services. Let's put it that way, okay? And yeah, Bill Gates and many others, including, yes, Prince Andrew, still associated with him. Yeah. Don't you think they should have thought it was a huge mistake then?
Well, to be fair, Clinton did disassociate himself. That's what I read. As soon as that happened, Trump actually disassociated before. Take that for what it is. But, hey, you're right. What if he wasn't caught? I mean, you could live a life of stealing from everyone, going into every store, stealing stuff, stealing TVs, stealing whatever, food, whatever. And that one time you get caught, you say, I'll return the item. Yeah, but what about the hundreds of thousands of dollars you stole before? I don't know. Maybe these people have a weird lifestyle, man, that we don't, us mere humans, mere mortals do not understand because they're so mega rich, right? And this is the time Bill Gates, they found it out about the island and now he's disavowing. I don't know.
Don't know. Whether they're disavowing because they mean it or they're disavowing because that will help with their image and all and their reputations. We really don't know at this point, right? But Rhonda, thank you so much for your continued support, for the membership on here for the last 7 months. And Denise Santi, thank you so much for the $1.99 sugar bucks of my favourite, the Ginger Doggy Fine Hearts moment. Really appreciate your face there. In the meantime, so the Bill Gates of it all, discussing the role that his relationship with Jefe played in his divorce from Melinda Gates. Bill told the Sunday Times that at the time he didn't realise that by having those meetings, it would be seen as giving Jefe credibility. He says, you're almost saying I forgive that type of behaviour or something. So clearly the way it's seen, I made a huge mistake not understanding that. He's trying to play stupid, guys. This is a dude that created Microsoft, that's a multi-billion freaking heir, at one point topped the richest list in the freaking world for like decades, right? And you're telling me that you're gonna believe his dumb act. I think it's a dumb act. His whole, I didn't know, I didn't realise, it was stupid, I should have known at the time, but I didn't, blah, blah, blah. No. This is a dude, right, guys? The time is freaking money. Money with a capital M, right? Billions his time is worth, quite literally. You don't think that he's not going to do a deep dive on people that he meets to know exactly who they are, how they tick, and how he can try and manipulate them into doing what he wants in that meeting? He'll have dossiers about everyone that he meets, so he can get out of that meeting what he wants. He'll have done exactly the same opinion conspiracy theory whatever with Jefe. Yeah, he's going to turn around and say, well, you know what? I was just too dumb to really realise who I was meeting with. A multi-billionaire, guys, that created Microsoft is saying that. Make freaking sense. Lewis?
I 100% agree with you. Listen, when these, because Bill Gates is how would I say? It's a trademark. It's a item. It's a brand. Bill Gates, the name is a brand. So with that brand comes a lot of people behind them. Not only Bill Gates, Steph. I believe these people have enough money to hire consultants that are constantly with them. One bad move, one wrong move, one stupid move equals maybe billions of dollars in the stock market. So they would be, hey, dude, do not hang around this person. This is called a PR team. Do not associate with this person. Be standoffish against everybody. You know, one story I heard that I didn't know this was happening was every time Elon Musk gets interviewed, he has his own part of the agreement for that interview is having his own camera crew record the interview with no edits. That will stop whoever's doing the interview from recutting it and making him look like he said something that he didn't say. That's smart. What else are they doing to ensure this kind of things don't get out of hand? And Bill Gates should be on there, man. So playing stupid, playing I'm the victim is a little weird. I don't think that's an excuse.
No, it's not an excuse at all. Him trying to play dumb, being like, I didn't realize who I was meeting with, really. Yeah, come off it. You do not become a multi-billionaire, head of one of the most powerful, most famous freaking companies in the world, and just meet with someone in meetings that you have no idea about. Every single meeting you have with someone like Bill Gates, they will have a dossier on you before you even freaking walk into that room. They will know what you like, what you don't like, what makes you tick, what doesn't make you tick, how you are, what you do, what you have for breakfast, dinner, lunch, tea, your habits, what you wear, what your style is, what you like to listen to music-wise. They will have it all before you even walk into that room with Bill Gates. And he'll have read it all, so that he can then do his magic, manipulate, and get out of that business meeting what he wants to get out through the art of negotiation, this, that, and the other. And he's going to turn around and say, I didn't realise who I was really meeting with. Whoops. Get bent. Now, let's get finally on to, before we finish the main topic of the day, although after this, we will still be talking about the Hefe list. So everyone that's watching, stay exactly where you are. We're going to get Twitter reactions.
We're just getting warmed up. What?
Oh, yeah.
People, don't turn that dial. We're just getting warmed up.
Oh, we're just getting warmed up, guys.
Strong. Where are the likes at? Let's go.
But yeah, let's get on to the Miley Cyrus connection. Now, here on Popcorn Planet, we did do a video on this last year. So do go back and search for it in the history tab. Because, yeah, guys, somehow Miley Cyrus is even involved in this whole Hefe saga. Now, you'll have remembered earlier on in this video, right? It was specified that on this list, there are going to be a list of names. Some of them associates with Hefe, others survivors. Okay? So bear that in mind. Also bear in mind that anyone listed on that list, or named on that list, really, it's not implicating that they've done anything illegal at all. Okay? Although we obviously will speculate on that. Before we continue, Larry B, thank you so much for the $10 sugar bucks, saying all these globalists and multimillionaires knew exactly what they're doing, ex-presidents, whatever, for years. They knew what he was about and having fun of the island. Love you guys and love the nerd. Yes! Love you too. Thank you so much for the $10 sugar bucks. But yeah, let's get back to the Miley Cyrus connection. Now, this is just a question that I'm asking for a friend, not a statement of fact, not an allegation, but could Miley Cyrus actually be on this list? Not as an associate, but potentially as a survivor.
Oh, man.
Let me explain. So, JP Morgan's bombshell, Hefe messages revealed, execs joked about 16-year-old Miley Cyrus and, quote, sugar daddy. And so in one of the bombshell communications that was released, JP Morgan senior executive Mary Roders received a message that year asking whether Epstein was attending an event with Miley Cyrus. Now, there's no evidence that the joke had any factual basis. And this senior executive, Mary Arodas, went on to become the CEO of JP Morgan's Asset and Wealth Management. She admitted in a recent deposition that the bank was aware by at least 2006 that Jefe stood accused of paying cash to have ladies that were not of age and young women brought to his home. But the really scary and most chilling thing is the Miley Cyrus bit. She was 16 at the time, and you've got a JP Morgan senior executive. Now, JP Morgan was a bank that Jefe banked with, guys. And this senior executive who went on to become the CEO of the Asset and Wealth Management arm of JP Morgan is asking whether Epstein was to attend an event with Miley Cyrus, who at the time was 16 years old. We have no idea if that's an actual real joke or if that's actually factual, as far as I'm concerned. So this is why I'm now asking, again, not making a statement of fact, not making an allegation, just asking for a friend. Based on this email that was released, could Miley Cyrus be named on this list, but as a survivor? She was 16 years old at the time that this JP Morgan senior executive was joking as to whether Epstein was attending an event with Miley Cyrus. Now, if you want to know more information about this, again, we did a video on Popcorn Planet. I implore you to go back to that video and watch it. But, Lewis, final thoughts on the Miley Cyrus potential connection of this all? What's your reaction? What are your thoughts? What's going through your head on this one, mate?
Well, I hope not. I certainly hope not. I wish the island didn't exist. Again, I see a lot of people like putting people they don't like. Are they in it? Like almost like I hope is Meghan Markle in it? It's like I hope Meghan Markle's not in it. No, I don't give a crap how bad she is. Hope no one's in it. Hope there's no list. Miley Cyrus, I don't follow her career as much. I like some of her music. Is she outspoken? Is she the type of person that would go out there and speak up for victims? Let me know in the chat. I don't know. Is she that kind of person? And also, if she doesn't step up, I don't blame her because I don't look. Once she speaks up, the monsters become part of her forever. They get every time they mention her name. The monsters are going to be mentioned alongside with her because she's a big celebrity. They're going to ignore the fact that she's an awesome artist. So I understand why sometimes popular people like Lady Gaga, who's also, I believe, said she's been a victim. She never mentioned her monster because then it's like, well, Lady Gaga and that person, it's a potential elevating the monster to star status and stuff, because I didn't even know about this as well, but I don't know. I hope it's not true. That's what I think.
I hope it's not true as well. I really do. Like I said, I wouldn't wish being a survivor on my worst enemy. I really wouldn't. But with that email that's quite chilling from that JP Morgan exec, I do wonder, is it a joke or were they actually being serious? And if that's the case and it was serious, then again, asking for a friend rather than making a statement of fact or an allegation, is Miley Cyrus a survivor? Could she actually be on this list as a survivor? It's scary. Bernie, thank you so much for the £2 sugar bucks, saying Sonia Poulton, look this reporter up. I definitely will. Thank you so much for that. But guys, that is it for the main portion of this stream, we are going to continue to discuss the Hefe list. So everyone on the live, stay exactly where you are. But for those that are watching on the replay, if you haven't done so already, then on your way out, make sure you subscribe to Popcorn Planet, turn that notification bell to all, like this stream, and comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Who else do you think is going to be on this list? And go one step further and join today. Become a Popcorn Planeteer for as little as $5.99 a month and get exclusive content from the man himself, Andy Signore. And best believe we will be keeping you updated on Popcorn Planet about the whole Hefe situation. And as soon as the list is released, and yeah, we are continuously keeping an eye out on that, then yes, we will be reporting on it straight away. If you liked what was coming out of Lewis's gob, then do make sure you also head over to Nerd Report, give him a friendly subscribe there. And if you liked what was coming out of my gob, then make sure you also head on over to my own channel, Steph the Alter Nerd. 2024 is the year I get to 100k and get that silver play button right there. So help me and our community over on Steph the Alter Nerd achieve that. Please go over and hit that subscribe button straight away. Also, as well as a little bit of a parting nod, tomorrow on Popcorn Planet, guys, we have an exclusive interview with Samantha Markle's lawyer.
Wow.
This is part 1 of the interview with Samantha Markle's lawyer. And guys, I've watched both parts because I can. And oh, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. That's all I'm going to say. With that being said, like I said, everyone watching on the live, stay exactly where you are. But for those that are watching on the replay, there are some videos that are popping up on your screen right now that you may want to clickety-click, clickety-click.